Yes.
Vice President Benjamin.
Yes.
Mock-up first,
Secretary
so that you
Hendry,
know
aye.
what you're
Ms.
gonna
Hupp.
print.
Aye.
Mr. Lazarovitz.
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
Mr. Kamara.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Vallejo.
No.
Mr. Anand.
You know, I would like to say that maybe the funds could be used to distribute some of the existing ones that we already have, if they're already covering the same.
They're not.
They're not.
We don't have them. They don't belong to us. They belong to the individuals who printed them.
Well, but they can give them to us.
And
Those
they're-
office already has them, and they give them to us, and we could be spending that money to
We
distribute.
don't.
Well, I'm still voting yes.
That's fine.
Okay, Mr. De La Cuesta.
Abstain.
Ms. Patton.
No.
Is that a,
No.
no, okay, thank you. Mr. Lynn.
No.
Mr. Moravia.
Yes.
Ms. Arzola.
Not here.
Not here, okay, I'll mark her at the future. Ms. Raines. That was an abstain?
Yes.
Okay. Count 8 aye, 4 no, 2 abstain.
Very good. We got through that. Moving on, I gave my word that we would call on Don Sepulveda to get a briefing on the train station because he has somewhere else to go, and then we'll get into the fracking debate. You must be Mr. Sepulveda.
I must be Mr. Sepulveda.
There it is. How are you, sir?
I am doing well, sir. How are you?
Thank you. Very good.
Is it the family? Yes. I'm going over to the dark side. Folks, we're having a handout, but I would ask, we didn't bring enough for everybody, so I would ask if you're with somebody, if you could share and let somebody else have the handout. Your ass up right over there.
You have to go somewhere? Okay, I'll call on you right now. Well,
And before you get into a fracking debate too, overwhelming majority of the
But
books that we know.
there's one people that want to go before, we've got it.
Can I just finish my request? Never mind.
Mr. Sepulveda, you're recognized.
Good evening, Mr. President and council members. Thank you for inviting us here this evening to talk about the Van Nuys Station. I'm Don Sepulveda. I'm the Executive Officer of Regional Rail for Metro. What that means is my team is responsible for our involvement with Metrolink, Amtrak, and goods movement in Los Angeles County. We essentially deal with the rail activities in LA County that Metro does not operate. So I come to talk to you tonight about the Van Nuys Station. We are, you'll have a handout here in front of you here, and we'll go through this thing. We are in the process of reconstructing the Van Nuys Station. The reason we're doing it is to provide better passenger service to both tracks that exist at the station. Currently, there's only a single platform that serves only one of the two main tracks there. We want to provide safe pedestrian access across to the station, across the tracks, or underneath the tracks in this case. We want to improve travel times for the intercity and commuter rail service that runs at the station. And we also want to improve the operational and reliability, operations and reliability of the existing passenger rail service and freight rail service on that corridor. So we came to you several months ago and we talked about the station and what we were doing with the station. And at that time, we were talking with you about a side platform station. In other words, we were adding a second side platform at the station and keeping the existing side platform. Because of some occurrences with the existing bridge and some utility issues and the Union Pacific Railroad, what we have decided to do is go with a center platform. And what that does is that avoids reconstructing the Van Nuys Bridge. It avoids working on the Union Pacific Yard, and it avoids several utility issues that we had. So we made this decision to move forward with this different configuration. Next slide, it's a picture of the existing station. And the station is essentially bracketed on the west by Van Nuys Boulevard. On the north is by the Union Pacific Railroad Yard, what we call the Gemco Yard, and it's the yard that was actually developed to serve the old GM plant that used to be there. So the Van Nuys station is actually serves both Metrolink and Amtrak on the intercity route. The tracks are shared by the Union Pacific Railroad. The Union Pacific Railroad runs freight up and down that corridor. They serve local industries, but they also run longer distance trains out on that in that corridor. There are 33 trains per weekday at the station. It has an existing 850-foot platform, and like I said it earlier, it's a double track with a single side platform. And what that means is that in order to serve the station, a train comes into the station, and if there's a second passenger train, they hold out outside of the station at a checkpoint. And then, once the train is done in the station loading and unloading passengers, it moves on, and then the other train moves in. So you can see the delay that we have because of this single track service that we have. So what we're able to do now with a double track service is we're actually able to serve 2 trains at the same time going in different directions. It's a tremendous boost for us as far as operations go. Also, the station has Dash and Amtrak Thruway bus and Metro bus there. So let's talk about the station and what we're doing. I'm on this slide right now. In keeping with our automotive roots here in Van Nuys and Panorama City, we have adopted a theme that's somewhat automotive related. And you can see the canopy configuration as we have. And of course, we've got a picture of a nice Chevelle there. That Chevelle was probably made at the Van Nuys GM plant back in the day. But that's the theme we've adopted for the station. Keep with the existing heritage. If we move on to this slide here, let's talk about accessibility. And it'll be probably easier to talk about it when we look at the next slide, but we'll talk a little bit about it here. The idea is to make it convenient and accessible for everybody. And this includes the grade separated undercrossing. It's a center platform, but we are going to have a grade separated undercrossing to get to the platform. In other words, if you want to take the train, you will not have to cross active railroad tracks.
Smart.
Okay? We want it to be safe, and we did it. So you'll see an undercrossing there that crosses under the south track to get to that center platform. That crossing is ADA compliant, Americans with Disabilities Act compliant. So what we have is, if you look at your plan, you have a ramp going down to the undercrossing and then going across, and then you have stairs and a ramp inside the platform that take you up where you need to go. At the same time, this ramp has to be designed and this access has to be designed to handle the Amtrak baggage cart that runs around there while passengers or pedestrians are still walking around in there. If you look at the next slide, it's a little bit better example. This is this slide right here. You can see an idea of what the ramp looks like and how you would gain access to the station. Again, if you look at it, grade separated pedestrian access. The idea is to keep that access safe and secure, so it'll be well lit, it'll be visible. There's station security already there, and it'll be locked in off hours so that we don't create an attractive nuisance. That's very important to us as we start moving forward with this.
Will there be any security cameras?
Yes, sir.
Oh, good.
Yes, sir. And they actually, I think there's security cameras out there now.
There are, yes.
Security cameras up there.
Yeah.
Some security cameras for the platform area.
There you go.
Do they work?
Yes.
Yes.
Ask Jerry, he's our Metro person on our board.
Jerry is a great asset for us out here in Van Nuys. He gets over at that station and he hands out bus flyers and schedules, and he is an advocate for passenger and transit. It's amazing the work that Jerry does for the station and for you folks out here in Van Nuys.
Yes.
Can I ask a question about Metro afterwards, and it doesn't have
Yes, ma'am.
anything to do with the
Yes, ma'am.
station?
Can you ask at the end of the presentation?
After he's done the presentation, you'll be the first
Yeah.
one.
Okay. I'll try and answer it if it's about that.
She'll be the first one.
So this is an bird's eye view of what the station looks like graphically. We like to add some trees to the station to give it a little bit more life, a little bit more vitality, cool it down a little bit because it gets hot out there. So let's get to the important stuff, and that is the schedule. We are in final engineering right now. Our team is moving forward with full force and coming up with the final design. That will continue through November of next year. Once that's complete, we'll actually go out to bid to build the station. We'll begin construction in February of 2016 and finish construction in January of 2018. And yes, the station will remain open always during construction. That's important. Ma'am, can we wait till the end real quick? Okay, thank you. We're just about there. So, talk a little bit about who is helping us on this, and this is the slide, and you'll see an artist rendition of the station on this slide.
They're very good.
LADOT maintains the station. Caltrans is our funding partner for this station, and it's funded through state funds. Metrolink, of course, operates the station. Metro, we own the right-of-way that the station is on, along with the Union Pacific Railroad. Of course, the City of Los Angeles has a part in it, and of course, Amtrak runs their service out of there. And if you look on the last page, there's some contact information. That website, if you go to the Metro website and look under Regional Rail, you can get a copy of this presentation. And you can get a copy, you can look at there at all of our other projects that we're working on in Regional Rail. We have about $842 million in projects that are in progress or will soon be in progress. So
Are they all on that website and the schedule?
They're all on that website.
And the schedule too, right?
The schedules for all of the different projects are on that website.
All right, 3 questions for Mr. Sepulveda.
And then,
Oh, no, Donna was first.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to ask a real
I'm sorry, Tom, yes. One second, I'm sorry.
You just might want to clarify, the regional rail website will show the heavy rail,
Yes, it shows everything that Metro doesn't
not the
operate.
red line.
That's right. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. I'm
I had
sorry.
a problem with Metrolink. I went all over in Lancaster. They set a timing that we would definitely be able to get the one connecting back to Van Nuys, and it left. Because they, it took longer than it was. Are they gonna work on this ideal to make these actually things work together so that you can actually get from Lancaster back to Van Nuys?
The train schedule should be linked up to work. I'm not sure what happened in your case.
Yeah.
When you have a problem with Metrolink like that, call the Metrolink line. There's a service line. I don't know what it is. It's on their website, www.metrolinktrains.com. Metrolinktrains.com is all one word. And then, and if you call that number, they can help you.
They gave me a free bus line at Metro.
Oh, good. Okay. Well,
Any
we
other
do run a bus
questions?
bridge.
yeah,
For
I just
Mr.
have one
Sepulveda?
question on participating agencies. You listed, we went through all of them, but you also have UPRR on there. And
Oh, I'm sorry.
Union Pacific,
I should have put the UPR, I should have mentioned you. The way the right-of-way is split up is the Union Pacific owns the northern 60 feet and we own the southern 40 feet. So that's the Union Pacific involved in the right-of-way.
Yes, sir. You're the last one.
I don't quite get how the 2 trains serviced at the same time thing works. Looking at the picture, I only see 1 track in each direction.
That's correct. If you have one train coming in on one track and another train coming in on another track, you can have 2 trains at the station at the same time.
Provided another train going in the opposite direction isn't coming through.
Well, that's where signaling comes into play.
I see.
Only one train can operate a given segment of track at a time. I should note that this line will have positive train control in January, or excuse me, not January, excuse me, 2015. And positive train control, if you'll recall, this is the same line that the Chatsworth accident happened on. And positive train control is the train control system that would have prevented the Chatsworth accident. So that's going to be installed on that line in 2015.
Thank you very much.
There was, behind Monica, the gentle lady had a question. Was it answered?
I was going to ask you about the funding, but then you did address that.
Okay.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Don Sepulveda. Thank you very much.
Thank you for
Absolutely.
taking care
You're
of
all good. You're all good. All right, one more, and then we're getting into the fracking debate. This will be a speech and presentation by Alexa Myers. She's a student ambassador from Granada Hills Charter High School. It is a school night, and she has to go. And then we will jump right into the fracking debate. Ms. Myers, you are recognized.
Oh, sweet.
Good evening. I realize everyone. My name is Alexa Myers, and I am a student representative from Granada Hills Charter High School. I am a senior, and I have the pleasure of being here today to tell you all about the programs that one of your local high school has to offer and the sort of assistance that we need from you guys. So I'm a part of a program there. We have many programs to offer that base your classes around what you want to focus on in your future career. For example, I am a part of the GBF Global Business and Finance program, which teaches students the aspects of the business world and finance so that in their future career they will be prepared, not only for college, not only for your tough college classes, but for your career. And a big part of our GBF program, which is frequently, it's new to Granada, is the GHCHS DECA team. DECA is a business team that you guys might not know about. It's really popular in Silicon Valley, but it's a team of students who have an interest in business and want to compete. We have 3 different types of competitions up for DECA. We have online competitions where students can participate in mock like restaurant and sports arenas and owning that business and running it with fake money, obviously, on the computer. And you get to kind of see what running a real business would be like, running a real sports arena, running a real retail store or a restaurant would be like. So it's really helpful for students who have an interest in business to get a hold of the aspects that they're going to need to know. We also have video competitions where you're given an everyday item and you have a team and you have to create use out of it. For example, last year we had a soda can and my team created a French press. So you just you just have an everyday item and you have to create something innovative out of it. It's the idea of making students more innovative so that they'll be prepared for their career. Also, the last competition that we have is a state conference. Now the state conference, DECA is new to Granada, so last year was our first year, and I am the competition coordinator of DECA, Granada Hills Charter DECA. And the state conference is where students get to go to a conference. It's held in, last year it was held in Anaheim, this year it's held in Santa Clara. And the students get to participate in sort of like mock job interviews for like a future career. You're given 10 minutes to prepare, you're given a prompt. You have 10 minutes to prepare and you have to go in front of a judge and speak in front of them. Now, what we need help with is preparing for these competitions. Our competition is in February, and we need people who, like you guys, are neighbors, not just big corporations to help us, but our neighbors who will actually come out to Granada. We're holding a mini conference where we're going to practice preparing for the actual competition, and we need we need business leaders that'll help us become future business leaders. So in the competition, we focus on marketing, finance, business administration, and hospitality and tourism. If any of your guys' jobs have anything to do with that, or if you know people, it would be really helpful if you guys would become a professional member. I left some applications on the table over there. It costs $20 to join, and you can help in any way you can, either with coming out and doing practice interviews for a competition, or just if you know someone, if you want to make a presentation, it would be really helpful. So yes, I left papers over there if you guys would like to join. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, so the new captain of Fire Station 39 is here. He wanted to say hello real quick.
Good evening. My name is Curtis Grego. I'm the new fire captain here at Fire Station 39. I'd like to thank the board for what you do and thank all of you for participating in your community. I grew up here in Van Nuys, lived in Van Nuys through the 70s and 80s. Then my parents bought a house somewhere else, so we moved out. But it's been great for me to be back here for the 3 months that I've been here, and I expect to be here for many more years. It brings back a lot of good memories. Went to Van Nuys Junior High, Van Nuys High, so it's been good. What I wanted to do was invite you all to our community event on November the 22nd. We're going to have our 75th anniversary Fire Station 39 was built in 1939. So it's been 75 years, and to mark that occasion, the firefighters of Fire Station 39 want to invite you all. We're going to have a barbecue. It's going to be kids' activities, and we're also inviting the council to come out with their boothing and pass on information to the community. YMCA is going to be there. They're going to be, doing some activities with kids. American Red Cross is going to be there also. They're going to be signing people up for smoke detectors, and they will actually go out and install those to your home, so they'll be there. So we've been getting a lot of help from the Councilwoman's office. Linda and Guillermo have been really helpful. And so if you have any questions, I'm here for that. If not, I hope to see you then.
What time is it?
It's from 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Do we have a street closure?
Well, we wish, I wish we could do ribs and prime rib and all that type of stuff, but that would take a long time. So we're doing hamburgers and hot dogs. And
That's okay. That's good.
Linda, do we have a street closure? The street will be closed. You have a street closure, and our tent will be out there. We'll be participating in that. And if you need any further information, it'll be on our website under the calendar section. Come on across the street, 2 weeks.
Bravo. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
So without further ado, we are going to get into the fracking debate. I have a bunch of public comment speaker cards. Would you guys want me to do the public comment first, and then we'll do the presentation, or do you want to wait until the end? I think, yeah, we'll go first. So then I'm just going to call you guys up. You have 2 minutes. Joseph will be in charge of the 2 minutes, and we'll get through this, and then we'll have the debate. So up first we have Lois Davis, Los Angeles royalty owners. You are recognized for 2 minutes, Miss.
Please just come up to the podium, each one of you. Okay.
Yes, I'm Lois Davis, and I have been a part of the royalty owners for a number of years. My in-laws owned property with the oil and mineral rights for over 60 years. And we have gotten those royalty checks, which it helped my in-laws for many years. And then my late husband and I received these checks. He was a teacher for the LA City Schools. Way back then, they only got 10 paychecks a year. And this was a blessing to us that we were able to then receive these checks, and they helped us in getting through the summer months. And we have 2 small children. Time goes on. Now I save these checks for my grandchildren. And they get a trip when they graduate from high school. And I couldn't do this without this help from my royalty check. And without this help every month, I also help them with their education. I have a granddaughter who just entered Yale this year. Even though she has a scholarship, she still needs help, but Grandma hopes to be there to help her. There is no fracking, and I believe the new method of getting our oil from the earth is much safer. We need this oil, and we need those royalty checks. Another side to consider, how many jobs would be lost if we don't have this producing our oil, the oil fields? The unemployment rate is high enough. These royalty checks were a blessing for our young family, and they are a blessing to my grandchildren now. I have also spoken to Councilman Bonin regarding this issue.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Lois. Up next, we have Jeffrey Ames. Jeffrey Ames.
Is this on fracking or is
It
this on?
is on
public
fracking. Jeffrey
Oh, it
Ames
is.
going once.
What's your mom?
There he is. You are recognized,
They're one
Jeff.
and the same?
The fracking is an easy way to get the oil out. If you take a look at what's going on in North Dakota and South Dakota, there's a boom going on because of the fracking. There's not been any major spills over the past several decades or more, and this is a way that we can get oil that we desperately need. If we cut this fracking out, the next thing they'll do is throw that into the natural way of pulling the oil out if you have a strong oil field. Also, the state of California oversees all the oil. And I think they're a little stronger than, unfortunately, our city is. And why are we going against what they said is okay to do? It will cause massive unemployment, not just in the oil fields, but you've got the truckers, you've got the people who handle and manufacture the gas and refine it. Also, you're going to have higher prices if we stop drilling in Los Angeles. You've got the Pan-Pacific area where the La Brea tar pits are. That's all oil. Where my mom lives, and she gets a royalty, and she's been there over 60 years. She has the oil rights coming from the Hillcrest Country Club and Rancho Park, the natural gas. And these are all, people that can use this extra money. And if you eliminate the fracking, you eliminate the royalties that are going to people that actually can use the money. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Stanley Feinstein. Stanley.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. You are recognized.
Thank you. I'd like to speak on that too.
I'd like to speak to you.
You can speak to.
Please let me urge you to oppose any ordinance with language that could halt conventional oil operations within the city of Los Angeles. There's no fracking going on in Los Angeles now. I'm told that geologically, there's no need for fracking in Los Angeles. There won't be fracking in Los Angeles. However, and oil has been produced in Los Angeles for many decades safely. As the previous gentleman said, the state of California strictly regulates all operations